Welcome to Comfort Havoc number 2. This is part 2, rehashed. I had to delete the other one because I did some racist innuendos, and if I'm going to make a racist statement, I probably should make it at the beginning of the video and let you know that I'm going to make a racist statement, so we're going to rehash that, and I'm not going to make any racist statements, although I did make some points. I really thought about it before I read it and before I get canceled because of cancel culture and some other things, because again, 1,000 people on the planet could cancel me any day now because no one likes the truth. So what I dove into, I used a lot of racial innuendos of whites, blacks, and Asians, and that's pretty much what's the gist of that. And then I talked about other things. So now let's talk about the other things, which I left off on the video before the video that I deleted. No one wants to believe that their idols, their heroes, have a dark side. No one, and that includes me. The problem is, at 47, it's not much easier to pull the wool over my eyes as it is to pull the wool over 7-year-old James or 17-year-old James. You see, now 17-year-old James was a much better fighter than 47-year-old James in his mind. But age and experience versus youth and ambition. I'd beat my 17-year-old ass, no problem. I probably wouldn't beat my 15-year-old ass, though. Because I was much faster at 15 than I was at 17. Or I was green, so I had to learn shit more. 2-year difference, still green, but 2 years wiser. Irrelevant. What is relevant to the fact that all politicians will tell you what they want you to hear so that they get the seat. Once they get the seat, all politicians fight each other to prevent you from getting done what you're supposed to be done, which is what people voted your ass in for. But if people are fighting against you the same way that they fought against Obama, but for everybody throws Obama under the bus, as our going out administration always did, you have to understand, Obama's not a saint. Trump is not a saint. I am not a saint, and you are not a saint. Even the Pope is probably not a saint. The only saint that was ever on this earth is Jesus Christ. All right? For he gave up his life so that we all could live in free stuff. Now, let's kick to the point of this thing. As I said in the other video, not the one I deleted, but as I said in the video that's before this video, is that I was following this girl on TikTok who was pro-Trump. Pro-Trump, pro-Trump, pro-Trump. And as I also said in the video that I deleted, I don't care if you are for Trump. You're always welcomed here. What I do care about is the fact that somewhere in your mind, you believe that it's okay for our current administration to talk racist, to be racist. And a lot of people are following Trump because he's got their pockets fat. Now, must well record Swamp Thing because I ain't watching it. But a lot of people are following Trump because he's got their pockets. He's got their pockets loaded, their pockets are getting deeper, and that's why they're following him. A lot of people are following Trump because they strongly believe it's okay to be racist, to look a Chinese reporter in the face and tell her, why don't you ask China? Y'all who don't see that that's not okay is the ones that I have to question. I don't question you because you follow this man. I question you because you support the shit that flies out of his mouth that is fucking racist. I told you guys, son of a bitch! I'm just gonna keep going. The show must go on. You'd think with the girls out the house that light back there would have some substance, which it clearly doesn't. So, hope my nose is still clean. Anyway, as I was saying, if you following this man because you are racist, be honest about it. I'm following him because I'm a racist. See, I can respect that because I did make a video saga about an honest racist. Alright? See, when a racist is honest, you see the knife. You know the knife's coming straight to the face. Versus where a racist is not honest and you don't see the knife until it busts out your chest from coming through your back. I'd rather be with someone who's racist and I know they're going to stab me so I can be prepared for it versus being with someone who's a racist and I don't know it, where I will never see the knife. I shake hands with this guy, I break bread with this guy, I share everything with this guy, and he stabbed me in the back. I don't want that kind of friendship. I want brutally honest. A lot of people can't handle brutally honest, but I would rather have brutally honest and be hurt up front than be hurt years down the line, because as I said in my racist saga, you won't know your friends are racist until you see them in a place where these rallies against your race is on the table and you show up there and boom, your eyes lock. You be like, oh, well, this is my point. No one wants to see their idols dark. Deadpool and a lot of other comic characters have said it, and I'll say it too. And it's not always a truthful thing. Sometimes your idols are who they say they are. They aren't assholes. They aren't jerks. They aren't dickholes. And sometimes they're exactly that. Sometimes your idol that you're worshiping so badly that you're worshiping him more than you worship Jesus, it's just that. An asshole. He's not just an idol, he's an asshole. You may finally meet him and like, hey, can you sign my book? He's got nothing to do and he just brushes you the fuck off. It happens. Trust me, it happens. So my whole statement is, no one wants to see that side of their idols. No one wants to see that side of their politicians. But they exist. They're humans. They have a good and a bad side. Me, I'm pretty translucent. I have a bad side. I so rarely display any good within me whatsoever other than telling you the truth. I have my bad tendencies, and there are many people that I want to put this through their skull. And this one. And the two things that I'm standing on. Well, I'm sitting down right now, but, the thing is that no one wants to acknowledge the bad things that people do. No one. And everybody tends to forget, so let me remind you that the devil was God's first angel before Michael, before the rest of them, before the archangels. The devil was God's first creation. He was God's first angel. Just thought him up. Boom. Next thing you know, all the angels were here. In the beginning, God made the heavens and the earth. And on the sixth day he made man. On the seventh day he made rest. I don't know how long God was on let Adam wander around butt-ass naked before he made a woman, because I didn't read that deep into the Bible of Genesis. But here's the cold stone truth, or the stone cold truth. Sorry, stone cold. But the stone cold truth is this. Everyone has a good and a dark side. Sometimes you yield more towards one versus the other. And if you yield more towards the dark side, one event might be all you need for you to go towards the light side and stay there. If you've always been on the light side, one event will yield you to the dark side and you may stay there. And it's kind of hard to come back into the light once you go dark. But it's kind of easy for you to go from the light to the dark and then back to the dark. Because that's what people have known you for. Alright? Now the thing is, what you choose to believe, I can't make you believe. I can't not believe it. But sometimes even seeing things isn't always believing things. So when I pointed out videos about me not supporting Trump and here's why, you have to go do your research. I can tell you about 1993. I was 19 years old in 1993. I was fresh out of high school in 1993. I was still being called Chief in 1993. And somewhere between 1993 and O.J. Simpson and the Rodney King ass whooping, Donald Trump was bitching about fucking casinos and said that they don't look like Indians to me. And he lost that case. It pissed me off that he even had the audacity to do that, because here's the thing. How many of you actually know your heritage? How many of you actually know how bad Native Americans have suffered for centuries because of our ancestors? How do you justify slavery? It really can't be justified, but here's the problem. Native Americans also had slaves. Not the black slaves, but slaves from defeated tribes. So they're not saints in that shit. But acknowledging it doesn't hurt. How many people you know are going to outright acknowledge when they did something wrong? Nobody. Because if they can get away with it, they're going to hide it as long as they can until some little nerd buster comes along. Let me Poindexter this shit for you. till some little nerd buster comes around with his eyeglasses, his fountain pen, and a piece of paper, and goes through all these history books. Okay, that happened. Let me go research this shit. And go research it, and then dig out the full truth. And then some people still won't acknowledge it. It's just a fact. You got a lot of suffering on the ass end of Native Americans. Try to remember that. This country belonged to Native Americans before white man ever stepped foot here. Alright? And when white man stepped foot here, Native American men here was longer than this. It was like to their backpacks. Middle of the backs. Native American women here, same thing. And what happened with the indoctrination and the annexation and the taxation and the fact that Native Americans didn't get rights until 1924, the right to vote, the right to be classified as an American citizen, none of that shit happened to them until 1924. And you think about how long it was when the Europeans came and crashed on Plymouth Rock and decided, hey, we don't just want this land, we want that land where your TP is, that land where that tribe is, that land where that tribe is. And guess what? We've got gunpowder. You've got bows and arrows and spears and knives, but we got knives and gunpowder. And the person with superior firepower, welcome to the USA. Enough said? So when you hear someone say, why do I have to pay higher taxes on my casinos, but the Native Americans don't have to pay taxes on their casinos at all? Well, the Native Americans, who are very impoverished, who live on a piece of crap land that we, and by we, mostly Americans, including some slaves, that didn't really have a say in the matter, decided, this is your land. This is your reservation. This is our land. Oh, we're going to take some of this from you. So we're going to put you back here. In fact, we're going to take all that. We're going to put you right there. So over here you have a cliff. And we got all these cities and things over here. If you step off this land, you're executed. But I'm sure no one's taught you that, right? It gets better. Trust me, it gets better. Because they're not only going to do that to your tribe, they're going to do that to my tribe. They're going to do that to the Seminole. They're going to do it to the Cheyenne. They're going to do it to the Creek. They're going to do it to the Apache. But the Apaches are going to get it worse because Geronimo decided he's going to stand up and fight. So, an eon later, we got this white dude who has billions of dollars arguing with the California Congress about him having to pay taxes on his casino, while Native Americans who have this little itty bitty land have a casino and don't have to pay taxes because they gotta feed those people. They gotta get imports to come into the reservation. And also, our country has gone how many times bad against these treaties that they made with the Europeans before we got totally established, before Sacagawea, a Native American, and her husband took Lewis and Clark from Virginia all the way to California. But yet they don't have any money and they're starving and we take their children. Oh, I forgot. Let's chop off our hair and we're going to save the man and kill the Indian. Yeah, that was a thing, for those who don't know. So when I say I got mad at Trump, it started back in 1993. Because by then, I knew I wasn't just black. I also knew that I was Native American, and something my great-grandmother Ada told me, what affects one tribe affects all tribes. And by tribes, she didn't just mean Native Americans. She meant blacks and whites as well. But see, the thing was, Ada wasn't that fond of white men. But she had to work for them to feed my grandmother Bay, who also had to work for them to feed her 11 or some odd damn children, 7 or 11, I don't remember how many she had. I don't know, I got like a bunch of fucking aunts. Anyway, she had to feed them, and their father, who was black, who left them. Understand, my grandfather, he left his children, leaving my grandmother Ada no choice but, my grandmother Bay, And my grandma Ada also helped, but she wasn't like the main breadwinner. Grandma Bay and Ada actually worked together at a restaurant to feed their family and to pay for stuff. So this went on, you know. So Ada was let's see if I can word this right. Ada was an eccentric individual. As my Aunt Ruth would put it, Ada really only liked the kids that resembled her. Yay me. Anyway, moving on. So I moved on from that, from the casino thing. And then OJ happened. And then Rodney King happened. And then Reginald Denny happened. And then down the road a little further, the Central Park 5 happened, which I sprung right back because I see none of you Trump supporters are like agreeing with me or bringing this up, so I'm going to bring it up for you, where people, your people, white people, have asked him, do you think it's about time for you to apologize to the Central Park 5, even though DNA proved that they were innocent? His response was really quite simple. No, I don't think I should apologize. And who's to say that the DNA wasn't altered? Kind of like he's crying about these damn votes now. But I'm sure you Trump supporters aren't seeing that. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with you not seeing it. But I've sent you videos. I've played them here. I've sent you in the directions of where you can find the videos. Still not good enough. Because he's still going to be your hero. I'm not here to discredit your hero. I'm here to open your eyes. I can't make you believe it. You have to see it for yourself, because for some people, that's the only way that they can see it. Everybody's hero has a dark side. Whether you want to admit it or not, everybody's hero has a dark side. Period. So let's go a little bit further down the road. Donald Trump gets into the White House. Donald Trump continuously calls Elizabeth Warren, my personal chosen for the president, Pocahontas, which, ironically enough, is my mom's nickname. My mom's real name is Marie, but her nickname, for as long as I've known her, has been Pocahontas, because she is also part Cherokee. Okay? That explains all of this. So she's part Cherokee. Her husband was part black and part white. Now, we don't know if my grandmother is full Cherokee or black and Cherokee, but we know she's part Cherokee, because of the simple fact that she was raised by a black woman who her and her sisters were raised by, but there wasn't her biological mother. Okay? But Grandma Sarah is still my grandmother. She's never done nothing more than grandmotherly things to me. I don't recall her ever spanking my ass. I do recall her teaching me how to use the bathroom in Nelson County because there was no plumbing and there was an outhouse. I do recall her taking me to the bathroom as a little boy to the outhouse. Yeah, outhouses, they were a thing. Anyway, so I got a president that's constantly calling Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas. As I told you before, in this video, that I spent 3 years working at a bowling alley, having a white dude call me chief for 3 years, even though my name tag on my chest, bright as day, in big bold black letters on a white name tag thingy. And no matter how many times Mondays would go away and I'd dread Friday, Saturday and Sunday would come and this guy would be there. I got friends in low places, gonna go on down to the oasis, 'cause I got friends. That was one of the songs he played over and over and over. In low places, the thunder rolls and the lightning strikes, but most of all, the thunder rolls way down yonder on the Chattahoochee. You get the gist. 3 years of that shit. Back to back to back. That jukebox was loaded with quarters. All from that one guy. I promise you, it was all from that one guy. The point is, he called me chief. No matter how many times I begged him to call me James. Our illustrious president, who's still the president until January anyway, won't stop calling Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas. And I would have been okay with it until the day the Code Talker showed up. Which, again, I showed you the video. And if you think this shit is not racist, you really need to look in the mirror. I'm sorry, you really do. When he sits there and he says, you guys are very special people. You've been here longer than all of us. You were here before us. And you're very ancient people. And you're old people. I'm twisting his words just a little bit, just so you know that. Because I'm not exactly watching the video. But he goes, we've had a lady here who's been here a very long time too. We call her Pocahontas. Now he said this in front of fucking Navajo. And for the record, Pocahontas is Powhatan. Not Cheyenne, not Seminole, not Sioux, not Apache, not Iroquois, not Cherokee. Powhatan. The look on that Navajo's face, because he almost bust out laughing, but it was like he was about to laugh in disgust. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, now if you look at the guy next to him in the wheelchair, he was in shock. And if you think that that was okay, you really need to evaluate yourself on what is racist and what is not. Because here's how racism works. See you in the next video.